What's up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He takes part in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match on July 6th. Melo is money, and he might soon be Mr. Money in the Bank. Carmelo Hayes, how's it going, bro?
What's up, bro? Hey, it's Mr. Melo
In
in the
the
bank.
bank, yes, sir. I wanted to see something for you to say. How's it going?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for doing this today. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Now, we have so much to talk about from your fast rise to the WWE to Money in the Bank. Before we
Yep.
do, one thing I need to know, the people want to know. Is it true that you hooked up Lexis King with your barber?
Yeah. Well, he's not my barber, so I mean, people. Yeah, it's funny. I've been getting heat for that. He hit me up when he was coming. He's like, "Hey, I need a barber." I said, "Hey, here's a guy that." And this guy, see, people need to put respect on this barber's name because he owns a lot of shops in Orlando.
Okay.
He's like a very high renowned barber. So I mean, he gets a lot of flack for that. I mean, that was a choice. That's a choice. That beard is a choice. But I did hook him up. But Trig, myself, we've all gone to this guy. He's never done any of us dirty like he did Lexus.
This King, well, I mean, Lexis loves it, so I don't think he did anyone dirty.
It worked for him.
What was your first reaction when you saw Lexis's upgraded look?
I mean, I respected it. I respected the commitment. You know what I mean? I think it was kind of outrageous, but like I said, he committed to the look, and you can't knock him for that. And it's working for him, and people hate it, and that's kind of what you want, right?
Obviously, you had some main roster experience prior to being drafted on SmackDown, but man, has it ever felt like sort of strap a rocket to someone since you were drafted, third overall draft pick, main roster official, I guess, debut against Cody Rhodes in the main event of SmackDown. How does it feel to be thrusted so significantly into the spotlight off the jump?
Uh, you know, I'd be lying if I said it felt like it was new because I feel like when I got to NXT, they did the same thing. You know what I mean? They put me right up against Kushida for the Cruiserweight Championship immediately. And then they put me against Adam Cole, and then they put me through the breakout tournament. So, as long as I can remember, I've been just put in these high pressure situations and these, sink or swim situations. And, I've just proven that every time that I'm a swimmer. I've proven that, I'm, worth, I guess, the opportunity. And, I will, excel, win or loss. I've been able to kind of keep my stock as well.
How does that pressure feel, and how do you channel it? Is it stressful? Is it motivating? How do you sort of take all that and put it towards something productive?
Yeah, I mean, mostly when I'm, getting put in these positions, I'm thinking, well, let me prove them right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember after, working with Randy, I told Hunter, thank you for trusting. And then they were just kind of like, well, of course. Like, what do you mean? Like, dude, like you're here now. You're in the mix, and that was reassuring, But at the same time, to put me against Cody Rhodes, and for the, he was a WWE champion. He just came off that, high of, dethroning Roman Reigns, and then me being the first person he's in the ring with is just like a huge trust. And I just wanted to prove that I was, of that caliber. I wanted to prove that I was the right guy. I was going to get in there and I was going to put on a quality match with the WWE champion, and even in defeat, still, look good.
You said that it feels like this is the kind of thing you've been doing from the jump ever since debuting in NXT. Has there been any sort of like unique or I guess different feeling challenges of being on the main roster on a regular basis?
Yeah, just reintroducing myself to a new audience. That's something that you have to accept is that you go to all these different places. Like I've been fortunate enough to go now to Scotland, to France, to Saudi Arabia, and and not even just that, but even Chicago and certain other places that they don't know who you are. They're not familiar with NXT in a lot of places. There's a lot of casual fans, so when you come out, the reaction is mixed. Just learning how to kind of adapt to that because at one point you're the top guy in NXT and everybody knows who you are, and they know your whole story. They know everything about you. They know all your highs, all your lows, and they're connected. Now going into all these new venues and situations, and then you're going against their favorites now at this point, so they're they're already like who's this guy? We want make quick work of this guy. This guy's a nobody, but little do they know I've accomplished a lot to get to this point.
Why do you switch between tights and trunks so frequently? We see most wrestlers kind of stick to one and rock it.
Because I like to switch it up, man. Sometimes I like to, sometimes I'm feeling like, I wanted to. So when I switched to the trunks, I mean, when I switched to the tights, I wanted that to be like a evolution of Carmelo Hayes at one point. You know what I mean? I was getting ready to gear towards the NXT Championship. At first, I had just been in the trunks and the bikers, and I just kind of like pushed through with that, and that was my look. And then I put the tights on, and it was kind of a different era of Carmelo Hayes. And there's more, you can get more out of wearing the tights too, because you can get more designs, and then you know what I mean. It's just like it's a cleaner look sometimes too. But every now and then I'll switch back and feeling me.
Hey, you know what? Like you hear some veterans say, more looks, more action figures, more royalty checks. So I'm here for it. Melo is money after all. I do want to ask about one particular promo. I know the fans brought it up and you kind of brushed it off like, come on, guys. The promo backstage with LA Knight. You slipped up his name. God knows I can't say a phrase correctly to save my life. But I am curious, it's not super often we see talent sort of pick up on a slip up like that and sort of bring it forward. How did you feel about how that promo went, I guess is my first question. And I guess LA's response.
I didn't even notice I did it. I did it so quickly, not even thinking about it. And then when he said that, I was just like, the freak is he talking about? And then I just kept going. And then after the fact, somebody was like, oh, you said LA instead of Logan. I was like, oh, because I'm literally sitting there like, what is he talking about? Because, you're looking at somebody and you're thinking of somebody, you know what I mean?
I do it all the time.
That's why I'm like, people were like roasting me. Like I'd freaking, oh my God. But I remember thinking after the fact, I'm like, what they talk like when did I say that? And then I was like, oh, I did say that. And like I said, he's quick, he's watching me. And then so it was what it was, I'm not perfect, bro.
Yeah, no, nobody is. Did you guys ever talk about that since it happened, that promo?
I mean, he's the one that was like, you said LA. I said Logan. I was like, oh, he's like, he was laughing about it. It was what it was.
Cool. I like that. I like that sort of vibe. We got 5 minutes here. I know I got to get you going. You mentioned the Adam Cole match, your second match in NXT, and a lot of people sort of compare the way that played out to John Cena's debut in 2002 on SmackDown against Kurt Angle. Obviously, you've got to spend time inside the ring and outside the ring with John. I am curious, how does it feel to have, in any capacity, one of your early pieces of work compared to the debut of, in some people's minds, the best to ever do it?
Yeah, I remember they hated it when that first did it. They hated it.
They hated John too. So
yeah, so what's funny is when we were, when they told me I was gonna do that, and we were in the ring. I do remember like Hunter and Sean both on the outside. And I remember I asked Hunter, I was like, well, is there any way I can kind of switch it up a little bit? I don't want to do the exact same bar for bar, ruthless aggression. And that's why I asked him, like, can I do the same energy? He was like, okay. And I was like, and then can I throw the mic and smack? I just wanted to make it different because, I was a little hesitant to do something that's already been exactly done. And it's such an iconic moment that I didn't want it to, and again, at the end of the day, I remember people were like, man, he can't think of any of his own stuff. I'm like, come on, you really think if I had anything, I was going to say that? But Sean was super cool. I remember Sean tweeted something like when people were criticizing it, Sean's like, it worked out for the last guy, and that was freaking 2021, and then here we go, it's poetic justice at its finest.
Poetic. Shout out to Kendrick. Before we finish on some quick rapid fire, I always put out a fan Q&A, and a lot of them wanted to know, how was it decided to have you and Trick unite as Trick Melo in the first place?
Yeah, so I just won the breakout tournament. They did have like an influx of athletes at that time in our class. It was Braun, it was Strick, it was Tony D'Angelo. It was a group of those guys, the Creed brothers, and they were trying to figure out how to get everybody on TV. And I think it was Road Dogg, which is kind of like, hey, well, like let's put Drick as Melo's like heater, because we were getting ready to turn that route as turning me heel. That took the title from Swerve. And they ended up, so they did that. And that was kind of like, again, we didn't know how long it was going to go, what it was going to be, where we were going to take it. And then we found like instant chemistry, and then we took it probably further than anybody thought we would take it.
Okay, I want to finish up on some rapid fire while we got a minute or so to kill.
Yep.
First, if Melo is him, who is her?
Kalani Jordan.
Shout out to Alani. Which wrestler has come the closest to making you laugh mid-match? You know, some of these guys like to rib it.
Shoot, mid match. Uh, I don't know, bro. I don't really nothing funny in the
People,
ring.
all right, people are about business these days. It wasn't always the case, you know. You got some
Oh
guys.
no, I mean, I made Randy. I got Randy to laugh when we were.
What happened?
I was just talking. He said something to me in the back, like about kicking out at one, and then he went to pin me or something. And I said, "I'm gonna kick out at one." He goes, "There you go, kid." Like, yeah, like little things like that.
What's one wrestling like sort of like cliche or trope that you hate? One example is Kurt Angle hates it when a face is beating on a heel and decides to turn his back and run the ropes the other way.
Damn guilty. Uh, I don't shoot, man. I don't know. Kicking out at one in a fire up and then going into a finish. I mean, I've done that, but I think it's so silly.
Okay. Last one. We'll let you go here, Carmelo. By what year will Carmelo Hayes be world champion?
Uh, I don't know. I don't want to put a year on it. I really don't. I mean, that's not something that I do. I don't tell you, when it's going to be or when it's not. Like, it's going to be inevitable. But at what year I couldn't tell you.
Hey, well,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But who knows? By July 6th, we might get closer to our answer if Carmelo Hayes becomes Melo in the bank. Carmelo, I want to leave you with the last words. So very quickly, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up. Give us your official prediction for the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We'd love to hear from you. Carmelo Hayes, if there's anything you want to tell the people, the floor is yours, friend.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Shaq for having me on, bro. Tune in to Money in the Bank. At the end of the night, everybody's going to be chanting Melo in the bank.